Hello, my dear students. I am your history teacher, Mr. Vinod Kumar, and today we are going to begin new chapter of history that is chapter number 5, uh, Chinese civilization. So the topics of this chapter are extent of the civilization, Chinese dynasty, then Chinese society, religion, occupation, sericulture, script, trade, contribution of the Chinese, then decline. The dear children, you can look at the extent of the Chinese civilization here. This is of the Shang dynasty during means it was during the Shang dynasty under the Indus Valley civilization. You can see the star, red color star, they show the archaeological site of the Indus Valley civilization under the Shang dynasty, and the circular star, circular red circle shows the modern cities of the today. So this is one of the extent of the Indus Valley civilization in is given in the color of yellow. Then let us begin our chapter. The history of Chinese civilization can be traced back to 4,000 years ago. It was one of the oldest and the longest civilization of the world. Actually, this is till now we have studied different type of civilization. That first was the Mesopotamian civilization, then second was the Egyptian civilization, and the third one was the Indus Valley civilization. Then this is the fourth civilization we are studying, that is the Chinese civilization. So Chinese civilization is also one of the oldest civilization which existed back 4,000 years ago. However, China is different from the other civilizations. The culture that developed in Asian China became the culture of the China that exists today. Actually, the other civilizations which existed in the ancient times, they were destroyed or they came to an end due to certain reason. Means the culture which they followed couldn't carry. That culture couldn't carry from one generation to another, or where it had to be followed in the modern time. But Chinese civilization culture is being followed even today also. So that's why only if a country follows this culture, then a country can be prosperous. So that is why China is one of the superpower. I mean, they still respect their culture, and even they are following the same traditions and the rules and the culture which was followed during the Chinese civilization. Then extent of the civilization. Chinese civilization flourished around 1800 BC along the banks of river Wango. Wango means yellow river. Actually, whichever the civilization have flourished, they have flourished near the river only, because river provides the precious water for drinking and other purposes which is used by the human beings as well as the animals. And the river water also provides a fertile soil. Then water is needed for the irrigation is also provided by the river water in abundantly. Then Chinese civilization existed or flourished near the banks of the river Wango. So Wango has another name, that is Yellow River. It is called as Yellow River because river during the rainy season, along its course from the mountain, it brought lot of silt, mud and other rocks down its course, due to which this silt only, the river water of Wango river turned into yellow. So that's why it is known as Yellow River. Like all the rivers, Wango brought rich soil and provided abundant water for cultivation. Means earlier only I have told that river water is very helpful for the cultivation of a crop. Because for rich soil, because the materials which are deposited by the river that make the soil fertile, the silt which is brought up by the river. So fertile soil is very good for the cultivation of crops, and water is also provided by the river water for the irrigation purposes. But unlike other rivers, Vango often changes course after floods, and oftenly when there were floods, the Bharati Vango River, then the Vango River used to change its course. Means the way course means the way or the path in which the river flows. मतलब नदी अपना रास्ता बदल लेती थी, and because of that change of course only the crops were destroyed because of the flood, and the canals were also destroyed. People living on its bank faced many difficulties. So because of the floods which came oftenly in the Vango River, they made the life of the people of the Indus Valley civilization miserable and sorrowful. So that is why this Vango River is known as the Sorrow of China. For this reason, Vango River is also called the Sorrow of China. From early times, the Chinese built dikes and embankments along this river to control floods. Actually, dikes and embankments are just like the small dams which have the ability to stop the floods, or they can control the floods. So fertile soil and abundant water, a temperate climate and waterway helped the Chinese civilization to progress and flourish. Actually, the fertile soil was provided by the Vango River, and the abundant water was there. Means proper water supply was there for the irrigation purposes and other useful purposes. So it was very easy to for the flourishment of the Chinese civilization. And there is also a temperate climate. Temperate climate are climate which is neither too hot, a type of climate that is neither very hot or not very cold. And Chinese people also carry out the trade relations and the businesses through waterways. Waterways means to carry out to sail on boats and ships on the water of the river, sea and oceans. Then Chinese dynasty, 3 dynasties have ruled for more than 3,000 years. Throughout most of China's history, it was ruled by powerful families called dynasties. Actually, dynasties mean a family of kings whose parents, grandparents, etc. ruled the country for many years. Means when the same family members rule for many years, it is called a dynasty. And Chinese civilization is divided into three dynasties that rule there. First is the Shang dynasty, then Chao dynasty, and the Han dynasty. Then Vango River is the third longest river in the Asia and 6th longest river in the world. It is called Yellow River because huge amount of silt and sediment turn the water into yellow river. This I have told before you only that Vango River brought a lot of silt with it, and that silt and sediment means whatever the materials which are deposited by the river and brought up along its path. So that turned the water of the river Vango yellow. That's why it was known as Yellow River. Then first we will discuss about the Shang dynasty. The Shang dynasty ruled from 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE. BCE means before Common Era, means the calendar or time period which we are following to before that, means even before the Christ, approx 1600 years ago. The next dynasty that rose to power, it was Chao dynasty, and they ruled Chao dynasty. They ruled from the 11th century till the 3rd century BC. The Chao period is called the classical period of China because during this period, culture developed to great heights. Actually, uh, China dynasty is one of the important period of the Chinese civilization, because the the culture uh, attained its great heights. Means they developed their uh, developed their the way of living, the food which they had, they followed the simple way of living, food, clothes, and whatever, and how to live a life simply. And they also developed their culture regarding the language, and regarding also the house, food, and etc. During all these dynasties, the basic character of the Chinese society remained almost the same. Means whatever the whatever the culture they followed, if they followed the same traditions and rituals from the one dynasty to another. Means same culture they followed. Then society. The king was all powerful. Under him were the many classes of people. Actually, there was a supremacy, and the king was the ultimate ruler. He had all the powers. So under him, all the classes of the people came under him. Means they followed the order of the king. Under him were the noblemen. Actually, noblemen are the important people which belong to a high class, and they work for the king. So noblemen were the next in importance, who helped the king during war and conquest. Means they were the people who gave important advice to the king during the war and the conquest, and other important matters also. Under them were the merchants. Then after this, there were the merchant, vyapari, then craftsmen are the people who make the things by their hand. Then farmers, आपके farmers होते हैं किसान. Then they were slaves. Actually, slaves are the people who are owned by an individual. Actually, slave को हिंदी में गुलाम बोलते हैं. Means slaves are the people who are owned by an individual, and they make them to work. Means they make that slave to work for them without any payment. Means no pay or money is given to them for working. People respected their elders and ancestors. Means this shows that Chinese people had, and even today also they have the great moral values and the respect for the elders as well the ancestors होते forefather. मतलब हमारे जो बाबा दादा या पुराने जो थे, means the people who are not in this world but they are dead, but still we respect their wisdom. They formed clans, and family was sacred unit. Means family was given one of the important sacred, the pavitra, and they formed the clans. Actually, clan means when many members of a family, if you means a large group of families who often share the same title. Means means many families in the same group, they follow the same title only. It is known as clan. The head of the family was given great respect. Means the eldest male member was the head of the family, and he was given very too much importance and respect also. Women were within the house only. Means the women in those times they were housewife only. Then religion. Actually, the China has been in present time, China has been following the Buddhism, but they in the Asian civilization they have followed the Taoism, the Confucianism. So let us discover the religion. As in all the river valley civilizations, Chinese also worship the forces of nature. Means in other civilizations we have studied that the people of those civilizations worship the forces of nature, like the sun god, moon, star. Then animals were also worshipped. Then even trees also. So in the same way, the Chinese people also worship the forces of nature. Then the earth was worshipped in the form of earthen mound. Means a structure of earth was made. Then it was also worshipped. Then they worshipped a god called Shang-Ti, or the ruler of all. Means they worship the one god, which they thought that he is the only one god, and he is the all the means सबसे ऊपर होता है हर किसी. So that god was the name of the god was Shangti. The Chinese believed in ancestors worship, means पूर्वजों की पूजा करना, means the people who are dead and they are means the forefathers. So they also worship their forefathers. For the childhood, the Chinese children were taught to respect the wisdom and achievements of their ancestors. Means what intellectual and intelligence which was possessed by the ancestors of the Chinese civilization. These Chinese people taught their children to respect the wisdom and achievements of their forefathers and the, or the ancestors. Then there were two other religions, Taoism and Confucianism. Confucianism means there were two popular religions in those times that were Taoism and Confucianism. Were the two most popular religion and philosophical system founded by Lao Tse and Confucius respectively. Actually, Taoism is a Chinese philosophy founded by Lao Tse, emphasizing a natural and simple way of living. Actually, Taoism is one of the religion which was founded by Lao Tse, and its play it gives the emphasis and the importance on the philosophy that how to live a simple and natural life by having a connection with the nature and to live a simple way of living. Then Confucianism was founded by Confucius. He gave a system of philosophical mean to influence the people by own thought that can guide the people to live a good living through moral values, good habits, good manners, and so on. Means the ethics and the morals were given more importance in the Confucianism, and this was founded by Confucius. Then occupation, actually in China, the agriculture has been the main occupation of the people. Even today also the main occupation of the Chinese people is agriculture only. Under the agriculture comes agriculture is the growing of crops and domestication of the of cattle for business purposes or for obtaining the food from them. So Chinese developed a highly organized network of irrigation. Actually for irrigation means the supply of water, means they have built dams, dikes and embankments near the rivers to control the floods and to control the river water, so that they can use that river water for the irrigation of the crops, and water could be used for other purposes also, and increase their agriculture produce. So in this way they were able to grow good quality crops by the irrigation methods. Then rice, wheat, barley, sorghum, millets, soya beans. Then rice, wheat, barley, sorghum, millets and soya beans, tea were the main crops. Means these were the main crops which were grown in those times. The Chinese were the first to cultivate tea. Means Chinese were the people who have cultivated for the first time, though it is cultivated in other countries also now, but they were the first. Actually, tea was first used for the medicinal purposes only, means for curing the certain diseases. But later on, it became one of the beverage. Beverage means something which is hot or cold drink. The cultivation of tea in other countries began only in the 18th century. In 18th century, it began in India. Then sericulture. Actually, sericulture is the rearing of silkworm for obtaining the silk from it. Chinese were the first to produce silk from silkworm. This is called sericulture. Then It forms an important part of Chinese tradition. Silkworms were especially reared for this process. Silk was their chief item of export. Actually, silk they also silk is the one of the important tradition मतलब परंपरा जो Chinese परंपरा follow होती है, because through silk only they made the different types of silk cloths, and silk was also sailed from one country to the another with the help of the waterways. Then script. This Chinese people also had a pictographic or ideographic system of writing. Means they use different types of pictures or symbols for writing, like other civilization. They wrote on a silk cloth with a fine brush. Means a very thin brush was used, and the ink was used to black ink was mainly used to write on the silk cloth. The earliest Chinese writing was found on the bones. Means before using the silk cloth for writing, the Chinese people used first the animal bones for writing. It is remarkable that the Chinese script has changed very little since the earliest time. Means they have still carried out the same system of writing even in the modern world also. Means the same symbolic structure or pictographic system of writing they are following today also. Then trade. The Chinese had trade relation with countries like Egypt, Mesopotamia, Iran and India. Actually they say have been known because different types of documents of the silk cloth or the animal bones have been found during the excavation, which show that the Chinese people had trade relations or business relation with outside the country also, or the foreign country like Egypt, Mesopotamia, India and Iran. Means they mainly exported the silk. Their chief exports were silk, China ware. Actually China ware the items which are made from the China clay. Then tea and paper. Means later on they discovered the paper also from the papyrus. It is a plant. From the bark of the papyrus plant the paper is made. The Chinese were the first to grow tea for medicinal purposes, which later became a popular beverage all over the world. Earlier also I have told that first the Chinese people cultivated the tea. Means and tea was only used for as the medicine, but later on became a beverage. Beverage means a hot or a cold drink. They were the first to produce silk from silkworm. Then they were also first to make porcelain or China ware, which was a kind of glazed pottery decorated with beautiful design. Actually they made a China ware they made a China which has a finally, means they made different types of pots which possess highly glazed means highly shining and decorated, and beautiful designs were there which were made through China ware. Means they were good at art also. So they were also the first to produce paper, because because Chinese people were the first to discover the paper long ago. Then okay dear children, that's all for today in this video. Goodbye.